Tim Pancakes.
Hello everybody, Tim Pancakes here, and today I am doing a speed build. This is a limited pack build. I decided to see, it'd be fun to find packs that go together, and so in this iteration I have a Bowling Night Stuff and Superstar, that's not what it's called, Get Famous, and then I put Moschino in there for an interesting mix as well. And so I really came into this build blind. I didn't know what kind of sim I was building for. I didn't know how big the house was going to be. I just kind of started with a little bit of a floor plan and then dropped the items so that I could go through and play with the different swatches and kind of determine what I was going for. So it's an interesting ride, and I will say this is not my favorite build that I've done. I think that generally speaking, every build I get a little bit better, and every build is my new favorite. And this one, it just didn't feel like it really landed for me. And I think that's because it's a limited pack build. So there were so many items that I wanted to use, but I couldn't. And so it's probably just that I'm not used to that. I'm used to just having the whole catalog at my disposal. And so limiting myself just kind of felt like I was coming in short. So I haven't looked at it. You know, I built this a few weeks ago, and I haven't really looked at the footage, and I haven't played in the house. So it'll be interesting to see if I feel differently now that I've had a little bit of space. But it does end up being a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. I imagine this is a home for one sim, probably a young adult. It's not a starter home. I'm trying to remember how much it came to. I should have written that down. I don't remember how much this ends up being. For some reason, 30,000 simoleons sounds familiar, but that I don't know that that's true or not. So it's not a starter home, but it is a starter in that it's like a one sim would live here kind of at the start of their young adult hoodism. And, you know, maybe I kind of imagined it as like a party house. You know, there's the speaker stereo, the old-fashioned kind of vintage record player there that I put in the living room, and there's a lot of seating. I think the reason that I call this a party house is that there's a lot of seating between the couch and the chair and the dining table and the stools that I put in the kitchen at the bar. So when I, you know, as a homebody, have a party, of course I don't now because of the state of the world, but back when I did entertain, you know, it was like a little house party or a dinner party. I'd have friends over and we'd have fondue, or I'd order pizza and we'd watch Wreck-It Ralph, you know. So ample seating was what I needed for my parties. And so I think that because there were so many seats in this home, I call it a party house. So it is available on the gallery, and I think I called it something like a party house or something like that. But it's not like a big rave or anything like that, so don't get the wrong idea. I kind of immediately went for this green and orange motif for the home, and I think it kind of worked. I really actually love this kitchen. I know I just said that the build isn't one of my favorite builds, but I really like the kitchen. I love that green tile, and I never use those counters just because I don't really love the look of them, but they worked for this build. I like how the fridge is kind of off to the side there. I don't know, there's just something about the kitchen that I really like. And I probably should have made the house a little bit bigger because I have to spend a lot of time tweaking the arrangement of the living room and kind of shifting some stuff around. And, you know, there was a lot of furniture that I really wanted to fit it all in, but it's ultimately just a 1-bedroom house with like a living room / dining room and then this kitchen off to the side. So I didn't have a ton of space. I had to kind of limit which bookcases I used. Here I was looking at maybe doing a 2-tone cabinet, like orange on top, green on the bottom, and then putting a mix of green and orange on the top with that orange divider there. But I didn't like how it looked. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go with a green kitchen, and that'll be fine. And then I'll use those orange stools, which I do change because those are base game stools. And the pack, I don't remember which one it was now, but one of the packs, that's probably bowling night stuff, came with stools as well. Oh, it was bowling night stuff. So I do end up putting those bowling night stools up at the bar instead, but I didn't like, and you'll see when we get to that part in the video, but at the bottom they had like this crisscross spoke embellishment on them, which was fine, except that the 4 chairs at the dining table also had it. So I just kind of felt like that was a little too much, a little too matchy-matchy, and so I went back to the base game stools that are there currently. So those will change, but then I changed them back. Oh, and the other thing I need to say is I went to upload this in the gallery, and then it said that I had an item from Cats and Dogs, and I was like, what? And so I looked, and it's that fireplace, and I could have gone back in to change it to really truly make it the limited pack build that I intended, but I just really love that fireplace for this kind of home. Like, I imagine this is an older house, and that brick kind of old looking fireplace just seemed like something I would see in a house from the 60s or 70s. And so that is the one item that slipped in that's not in one of the intended packs, and I just left it. So it's a limited pack build with one extra bonus item from a 4th pack. And I tried not to use a lot of base game. Like I said, the stools that I end up using are base game, and then of course the kitchen cabinets, because there wasn't a whole lot of kitchen stuff that came with Bowling Night, Get Famous, or Moschino. And the reason I kind of chose those packs is that, of course, the mid-century modern that is in Bowling Night stuff is also in Get Famous. They're kind of different. I think that Bowling Night was obviously meant to be a bit more commercial because it's meant for bowling alleys, and so the furnishings were meant to be like a community lot, but Get Famous was more of a kind of well-to-do home, and so I wanted to play with how well do those packs actually go together in a residential lot. And I think it works, because I think that the items looked really well together. And then Moschino I went with because I felt the pull of Get Famous kind of has that glam, a little bit more money, you know, vibe. And so Moschino being also kind of a trendier, more expensive brand, I just wanted to see how well would those items fit in. And there wasn't a whole lot, to be honest, because Moschino has a lot of industrial, and I was really trying to go for the mid-century modern. But there were a few items that I was able to pull, like that mirror I thought was kind of fun. And then you do put a, you can see it there in the living room right now, a camera tripod and a camera. So I kind of thought, you know, maybe the person that lives here is a photographer, or they just like to have that for when they do have those sitting house parties. They can take pictures of all their friends. So I kind of played with some of the different swatches. I was torn because I was debating if I wanted it to be too mismatchy or if I wanted to try to make them all look as similar as possible. And I kind of like how it ends up at the end, you know, with the blue swatches for the couch and that chair, and then the really colorful swatch for that coffee table. I kind of felt like having a wood swatch of the coffee table plus those 2 end tables that are also in the room was just a little too light wood looking, and I needed something else. So I went with that pop of color for the coffee table. And you have to let me know what you think of the Moschino bookcase that's there kind of next to the front door, because that's a bit more modern and not necessarily mid-century, especially since it's that dark wood as opposed to the light wood. But I still liked it, and I wanted to find a spot for it. So you'll have to let me know if you think that that fits or not. I don't remember. No, those didn't stay. I had a hard time getting anything to go on that mantle because nothing really clipped to it. Now, to be fair, I didn't try a whole lot of things, but I had a hard time getting anything to clip to the mantle. So the mantle is bare, but that's okay. I think the room looks kind of cluttered up enough. And you know, now that I'm seeing this again, I like it better than I thought I did. I think it's kind of sweet. I think it's very young. I think that I could totally see a single sim living here and then inviting like a group of maybe 5 of their friends over for movies or music and some juice or something. And then I just kind of like, I had fun decking it out with the different artwork on the walls. And that's why I'm pretty sure this is an expensive home, because a lot of the pieces I'm sure are expensive, but then I really put a lot of artwork up and everything too, because I just wanted to fill the home. So, yeah. I don't remember how much it was. I wish I paid attention. And so here I kind of threw some random knickknacks like that bowling pin from Bowling Night Stuff in, and it's definitely an interesting hodgepodge. Oh, and I put the Baby Yoda there. Why did I do that? I think just because it was kind of fun. I figured this is like a quirky house, which the homeowner would probably have a lot of random things. Again, they're young. They kind of have this mismatched furniture, and they probably have different things that they've collected over the years and haven't parted with. I know I sure do. So the Baby Yoda and the bowling pin and, you know, some of the artwork and everything, I just kind of thought worked okay. I really tried to find a rug for this room too. I don't remember if I keep that one. Do I do that? I don't remember. I couldn't find a rug that I was like, yes, this is the one. I think I ended up settling. I think it's that green one that I liked. I kind of liked how it grounded the room. So, I don't know. And I don't love the wood chevron that I have going on, but I really wanted to try and use the swatches from the packs, and that was a swatch that came with one of them. I don't recall which one it was. I think it's kind of interesting that I used these 3, in theory, very different packs: Bowling Night Stuff, Get Famous, and Moschino. And now I'm having a hard time really remembering which pack each of the items come from. So I guess that is a testament that they do go well together. I don't know if you would agree or not, but yeah, I thought they went well together. I didn't really struggle that much, I guess I should say. I wasn't kicking myself for choosing the packs that I picked. Although I was talking to Karen the Bestie after the fact, and she mentioned that a lot of players use Tiny Living with Bowling Night Stuff because those pieces go well together. And I do have Tiny Living. I haven't really played with it a whole lot, and as soon as she said that, I realized that is absolutely true, because right down to the swatches, I think a lot of the swatches are even very similar in the colors that they come in. So I may try to do another build, maybe a family home or something, where I use Tiny Living with the Bowling Night and the Get Famous. We'll see. I'm not sure. But it was an idea, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to try. So you kind of saw I used a larger lot for this build, and the house is pretty small. So while this is, I think, a 20 by 30 lot, you can probably put this house on like a 20 by 15 and it would be fine. I think there's a tree that's on the edge of the lot that wouldn't fit any longer, but that's, you know, that's fine. And I really think I could have done better on the landscaping as well when I get there. It's okay, but it wasn't a priority. I think by the time I got to the landscaping, I was kind of ready to move along, because this took me about an hour and a half or so, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, and another thing I'm kind of second guessing is like how dark this outside is. You know, the inside was really bright and colorful, but the outside is like that dark brick. But again, I was trying to make it look like an older home, and so I don't know if I would do it differently if I did it again. And I wasn't planning to live in this lot. I'm going to keep it in my, you know, back pocket. Oh, I put those frames in there too, again, just to kind of utilize some of the Moschino items. But I figured, you know, if he's taking pictures or she's taking pictures, or they're taking pictures, it'd be nice to have some frames ready to go to put the pictures in. I didn't go in and pre-place any or anything like that, but they are there ready for use. So like I was saying, I didn't have a specific sim in mind. I just kind of imagined a young person living here. So I don't know, I might end up using this home in my gameplay, and you know, I've got a bunch of Sims that are about to graduate university, and some of them are going to need their first home as a young adult. So I might end up using it. I'm not sure. We'll see. A little bit of life news, I found out today I'm going to be moving again. So I counted my moves in the last 2 years. I've moved 6 times in 2 years. And considering the fact that I bought a house in that time, that's really ridiculous. And I'm so tired of moving. I just want to stay put. I just want to unpack all my boxes and live in one place. And I know that once I move, I'm going to not stay there for very long. I'll be there for a couple months and then look in the area for an apartment or a house that I can move into. But it's hard for me to look right now because I'll be moving to a new state. I'm moving to Oregon, which I have lived in Oregon before. I used to live in Portland, but this will be Eastern Oregon, kind of on the Idaho border, actually. So I'm really looking forward to the move. It's just been a wild year with all sorts of changes, and I am kind of ready for the changes to stop. So I'm looking forward to it, but today I gave my 2 weeks notice at work and decided to move out that way. So I'm looking forward to a new adventure. Here with the roof, I just kind of threw together what I imagined being like a mid-century look, with the two roofs that kind of meet there at different levels and adjust the height a little bit, and it kind of came together nicely. I mean, roofing is kind of a pain in this game. I really wish we had auto roofs, and the reason I loved auto roofs from The Sims 2 so much is that you could like get the walls and everything and then really quickly in like rapid succession rotate through like 3 or 4 different roof options and decide which house silhouette you like the best. And so here it just takes more time to find a roof that works because you got to do trial and error and tweak things and adjust things and cheat things. And I'd rather just be able to click a button and have auto roofs appear and then say, next, and then get another option. And say, next, and get another option. So, as I said, this really should have been built on a 20 by 15. You can see I have a lot of space here, but, you know, you can definitely place this on a smaller lot if you'd like. And I'm getting ready to wrap up here and move into the screenshots. So I will just say thank you so much for watching, and that's a stack.